Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow Room. Letter W. I'm so excited. We're finishing up our first box. This is it. It's empty. Oh, I'm so happy. My goodness. You know, this has taken us a while to get through, but we're going to get through more because when we get to the big names, you know, we just cover scads of territory rather quickly. But this was our first box dealing with the end of the alphabet through the letter Z. And I'm sticking everything down here where it's going to fit rather nicely. I think we're doing okay. Yeah, what's that? No, I don't know. It's some sort of glue or something they stuck in there. Okay, paint? Yeah, paint. All right, whatever. Gesundheit. That's Finster, the cat. They're running around down here. They haven't been down here, actually, Finster and Mildred, so they love to explore. I'm not sure where Mildred went. Anyway, let's talk about these letter W's. First, I have 4 discs from CPO's Weingartner Symphony Edition. Now, like so many conductors, Weingartner was also a composer. Not a very good one, as it turns out. These symphonies have all been boxed up, and the box is upstairs, sitting with all the box sets. So I had some singleton issues, and I just, for some reason, hung on to them. I don't know why. It's volumes 1, 2, 4, and 5. Go figure. I don't know what order they came out or what happened to the others, but I have the box, and I have these single things. And we've got, let's see, Symphony number 5. He wrote quite a few symphonies. And his Overture aus ernster Zeit, from serious times. King Lear, the symphonic poem, 22 minutes of it. And Symphony number 1. And then we've got the Lustige Overture, which is very lustig. And Symphony number 3. And here we've got Symphony number 4 in F major. I like number 4. It's sort of like Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony. It's pretty. I think I've reviewed some of these on ClassicsToday.com. You can run over and have a look at those reviews. And we have a little Serenade for String Orchestra and a suite from Der Sturm, the Tempest, and the Overture from Same. Now, Weingartner as a symphonist was a completely regressive figure. His music could have been written, he was writing in the 20th century. His years were, 1863 to 1942, a lot of it anyway. But his symphonic style it doesn't get much past Schumann or Brahms on a good day. You know, these symphonic poems, because they're not symphonies, he lets himself do things like sometimes use percussion and color and things like that. He's not trying so hard to be symphonic. And so it's not quite as droopy as the symphonies. You know, why he did these things and thought that they were, contributions to the symphonic tradition, I don't really know. I enjoy listening to them once in a while just because, right? Because I'm crazy and because I collect this stuff, and it's nice to know what he was doing, but an original voice, Weingartner was not. Decidedly not. So there he goes in his unoriginal slot. Now here's a decent composer who's fun to listen to. Leo Weiner. Leo Weiner lived from 1885 to 1960. Get it? 1960, he wrote tons of music. He was Hungarian. He was a colleague of Bartók and Kodály and all those people. He taught them. He was, he spent his life in Hungary. His music is really, really lovely. He was a traditionalist. He was kind of like, who could we compare him to? He just remained a traditionalist, almost like Glier or someone like that, only better. There's more content. He really is quite a bit better. But we have his violin concertos on Hungarian. There are 2 of them, and they're lovely works. They really are. This is coupled, by the way, with Joachim's variations for violin with orchestral accompaniment in E minor, with Vilmos Zabadi, who's a very good violinist, by the way. So that's nice to have. And then there was this Leo Weiner album from the what's this? This is from BMC. It was one of their 3 world premiere recordings from the Budapest Music Center. They do wonderful work there. We have this Pastoral Fantasy and Fugue for string orchestra, the Romance for cello, harp, and string orchestra, the Concertino for piano and orchestra, which is marked here as a concertino, but that's okay. I make mistakes too. The Carnival for small orchestra, and then again, Violin Concerto number 2, another performance of that. So that's nice to have, if you could find it still. And these are these all Hungaritons? Yeah, they're all Hungaritons. Wow. Because there's music appeared elsewhere. I think Chandos had some stuff and some other labels, maybe CPO. And we're getting another visitor up there. Let's see. And we have his string quartets, complete. There are 3 of them. The Pastoral Fantasy and Fugue is the 3rd string quartet in its string quartet original version. So, Finster, come on. Cool it. Thank you. Come on down. Thank you, dear. That's a good girl. Then we have this Zongor Estunda. That was like an opera or something like that. And he wrote a suite or a ballet or I don't know what. And his Hungarian folk dances for orchestra. These are all with the North Hungarian Symphony Orchestra Miskolc under Laszlo Kovács. And we have his Divertimentos 3, 4, and 5. Variations on a Hungarian folk song, Serenade in F minor, and Carnival, Opus 5. So there's all that. That's Leo Weiner. He's a composer worth getting to know if you have an opportunity to do so. If you like, 20th century Hungarian music of the Kodai more than Bartók and the avant-gardists, he was not. He was a traditionalist, more like Dohnányi. There's the guy, Dohnányi. He was like Dohnányi. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Dohnányi, the composer, obviously, not the conductor. So that goes there. And those are lovely and nice to have. And finally, for this batch, we have Mieczysław Weinberg. Some of the Chandos Symphony Cycle. Symphonies 14, 16, number 4, Sinfonietta number 2, Rhapsody in Moldavian Themes, and Symphony 5 and Sinfonietta number 1. These are all conducted by Gabriel Chmura, with the National Polish Radio Symphony Orchestra, Katowice. And, I'm of 2 minds about Weinberg. I've said this before. I've been following this series. I've talked about it on occasion. He's kind of like Shostakovich, but gloomier and shorter and more ethereal and kind of desolate and not always, mind you. I mean, he had to write some socialist realist stuff too, like To Stay Alive back in the day when he was living in the Soviet Union. But I don't know what to make of him yet. I'm not there when it comes to Weinberg. I enjoy some of it, and some of it I could just as soon do without. I mean, they are unusual, strange works. Worth hearing, definitely worth hearing, but worth repeating? Well, that's why God made the Overflow Room, right? So that's it for these 3. What were these 3? What were they again? Weingartner, oh my goodness, Weiner, and Weinberg. I usually call Weiner because Dr. Weiner was my allergist. He was also a relative. He was married to one of my grandfather's sisters. So that was Dr. Weiner. He was the last doctor in New Haven, Connecticut to use sterilizable syringes. In case you're interested. He was like 90 when I was going to him. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, is it? These are 3 interesting composers hanging out in the Overflow Room. Maybe they'll get promoted. You never know. Time will tell. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.